Alright, welcome to the channel, and today we'll be talking about the Meze Elite. And this comes in a, oof, that was loud, crazy giant briefcase. Let me back up a little bit here. And it's very James Bond villain-esque, or James Bondy, but comes in this pretty dope carry case, as you can see there. This is a demo unit sent out by Meze, and it will be going on to the next person in line after I am done with this video. So thank you, Meze, for letting me check this out. And they're not asking me to say or do anything other than my honest opinion regarding the Meze Elite. And I've spent some time with it, and we will go over all my thoughts and opinions. And we'll start with build and aesthetics first, as we do here. But first off, the case. I mean, let's just get right into that. Pretty dope, actually. Like, this thing is, it's. I mean, come on, that's next level. And I would expect nothing less from Meze, but also for the price you're paying for these, it kind of is warranted. These things are a very, very expensive headphone, and they're planar magnetic, and they don't really follow suit to what I'm used to in the Meze world. I'm usually used to their more fun sounding headphones, and this one was a kind of a departure from that in that it is more neutral. But once again, I am getting way off track. Wow. Let's start with build and aesthetic. Hey. Anyways, the case. And I don't think these are all the accessories because, like, once again, this is the demo unit, but it comes with a pretty decent cable, and they always have some excellent cables here. And I've always been a fan of their cables. They make some good stuff. But I ended up using my Viking Weave cable for most of my listening, just as a heads up. They also comes with these velour type pads that you can magnetically swap in and off just by popping those off. And it's just like a magnet thing. And actually, let's appreciate the design here of the magnetic planars. And what they do is, this is a very Meze thing, like similar to their Empyreans and what have you, is let's turn it sideways so you can kind of see the profile there. It's very thin. They have, like, the traces tend to go up top, like back and forth, and they have like a more focused trace down here at the focal point here for kind of getting that low end a little bit more. But yeah, that's that. Oh, so magnets, they just pop right on. So that's basically how you swap pads, which is excellent. I love that. That's fantastic. Like, just boop, and it pops on. Dope. Dig that a lot. Always enjoyed their pad swapping capabilities with the Meze in general, minus I think the 99 Classic is not that simple. But anyways, Meze Elite. The overall design aesthetic. Let's get this James Bond villain case off my lap. The overall aesthetic of the Meze Elite is actually very in line with the Empyrean and their top of the line runs. This one is the biggest difference is that it's silver and black rather than like a black and copper or black and gold. Biggest thing I've noticed outside of that is mostly going to be in the sound department, not in the aesthetics or build quality, because the build and aesthetics is spot on, gorgeous. This thing is fantastic built, fantastic aesthetic in my opinion. They look lovely, they feel wonderful. It's almost like over-engineered, right? Like to pull them apart and to get the cup to align with your head properly, it's just very smooth and kind of almost magic, like how that works to be so firm and yet not have any sliding issues, but yet still hold place where you want it to be, to, you know, on your head placement kind of deal. The other thing is they have the Meze carbon fiber kind of headband here with the leather. This is very similar to all their other Empyrean and what have you. So it's the same design language, just different colorway and a different sound signature. So I kind of want to just dive right into sound and kind of go over that. So with the sound profile that I found with the Meze Elite, and I'm going to borrow something from my buddy Beef from one of my Discords I'm in and little group chats I'm in, and he always asks, well, does it slap? And I must say that the Elite does not indeed slap. It is not a slapping planar magnetic. It's more in line with a mellow, easygoing, more neutral sounding signature to my ears. It's got pretty good detail, pretty good imaging. The stage isn't the best, but I think the overall signature is just easy to get along with. It's smooth, it's mellow, it's I mean, I can't find any faults with it unless you're a bass head, because it definitely doesn't slap. But there is bass there. Like there's it's kind of hard to explain it. The low end, it's punchy without impact. It has some oomph there, but it's almost like you're hearing the bass without it being a thing that you can actually feel, or like it doesn't have that slap. It just doesn't slap. It's not a bad thing though. Like, it does sound decent. It's just if you are a bass head, it's definitely not going to be the one that you're going to probably reach for. But if you like pretty much everything else, this does fantastic. It goes fast for like high-speed rock, hip-hop. It does decent with that low end. It kind of makes it a little less impactful with the hip-hop, depending on the hip-hop you listen to. But blues, jazz, orchestral, symphonies, like all those things, especially with stuff that I found some people will find maybe pushing towards sibilant or pushing towards those highs being a little bit too sharp or too precise or too, these actually help a lot with that. I've noticed they roll the highs off pretty decently, and I never had an issue with the highs. I would say the pros the most come in line with that, where in the sense that the mids and highs are just super smooth. It's a very easy to get along with headphone. The tonality is excellent. The thing that I come back to is it's just mellow. Like, I just could listen to almost everything and just be happy with it, and just kind of it didn't really swing one way or the other as far as like being too like overly fun or going too bland or going too neutral. Like, it's definitely neutral, but it was not to the point where it's like boring, if that makes sense. I could see where some people might find it to be boring, but I didn't really find it boring. It's just more of that easy to get along with sound signature, where you just throw on stuff and you don't worry about it. Like, everything I threw at it sounded good. Like, I didn't have any issues with it in that regard, which I would expect from something of this caliber. The only thing I would say, the only negative I have on sound really is that it doesn't slap. It doesn't have that low end punch and dynamic and like, rattle your brain kind of thing. That's not what these are for, I would say. Words are hard. Every video, they're hard. But they are definitely more in line with what I would say an easy listening, trying for more of that natural, easy listening signature. Yeah, let's dive into some of the tracks I listened to kind of give you an idea and what to listen for. And handy notebook. I'm only going to list 3 tracks here. Actually, fun. Daughter drew a picture of me. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of reflecting pretty hard there. But yeah, apparently that's how I look to my daughter. Let's see here. First track that I was wanting to share with you, everybody, is kind of out of my norm, out of my wheelhouse a little bit. Even though I grew up around some country folk and that kind of stuff. But Bryan's a new country singer. He is a new country singer, and the track I was listening to that I thought was kind of a fun one is I Remember Everything. And I think this is a duet, or he has a guest with Casey Musgrave, female vocalist. And the things to look out for is his voice is excellent. Like, he has this very raspy country, but it's not like twangy, whiny sounding. It's very raspy, and I really dig his vocals on that. So that's something to like pay attention to while you're listening. Is his vocals are just really nice. Tonality and his that's the biggest takeaway. Is tonality and his vocals are just really nice, and then her vocals are also very excellent. And that would be the thing I would kind of pay attention to in that track, is kind of the vocals and tonality. And we'll go on to the next track. So next track up is kind of more of a fun one. I was using this one to kind of see how the bass, in testing bass and that kind of thing. Not that it's like a super bassy track, but it's Cooped Up, and this is a collaboration. Cooped Up, Return of the Mack. So it's kind of a mashup, and it's post Malone. And the thing to pay attention to is there's like these little sparkles that they threw in, and you can hear these sparkles. So it's like this imaging, trying to focus on the low end and that impact. And it just has a lack of impact. The low end is there. Like, you can hear the bass bass, you can hear the low end. It just doesn't have the impact. But the thing to pay attention to is just kind of like the ambient stuff that's kind of going around. And once again, his vocals are also pretty cool, and just like that electronic, like they did a good job with the mastering of that track. So pay attention to that stuff when you're listening to it and see what you think. And then for the third track that I was wanting to share, and this one's kind of a more in line with what I think these do excellent in, and that is Got Caught in Amsterdam by Arc de Soleil. And I'll add links below. But for this one, the Get Caught in Amsterdam, the things to look out for while listening to this track will be basically the clean, dynamic punchiness of the overall track. But it's a fantastic track, and I really dug the clean, dynamic, and punchiness of the overall instruments that were used, and like just the signature of it. So like the imaging, the separation, all those things just kind of came together and just added this really nice added this really nice signature to the track. And I was really digging on that track a lot, just listening through it. And I listened to a bunch of other tracks as well, but those were just the three that kind of I wanted to share with the community here. Past those tracks and going into my final thoughts on the Meze Elite, this is, to me, a very expensive headphone. And do I think it's worth it? I think if it's in your budget, yeah, I mean, anything's worth it if it's in your budget. Like one person's, overly expensive is another person's cheap, or however you want to put it. But if it's in your budget and you really dig on, I would say, like symphony, jazz, blues, more of those type of genres, maybe even some country, and even hip hop does okay, but I would say lean more towards the more traditional audiophile music is where these really shine, and that's who I think they're really made for. It's more of that audiophile, like a proper audiophile headphone, similar in vein to like the HD800 without those sharp highs and without this really wide stage, and it has a little more low end for sure than the HD800. And these, for that, in that realm, if you really love those genres and you want like the highest quality music, and these perform very well, especially the higher the quality of the track, like the highest bit rate, the highest hertz and all that fun stuff, the FLAC files, you're trying for the highest quality, you feed that to these and these shine. So in that regard, I would say these are a luxury item that goes with luxury, kind of that feel and the price point for those. And that's who I think these are really for, is those people that are looking for the best of the best in that audiophile world specifically. And, they shine in that world. Words. But I think for everyone else, if you're a big hip hop head, probably not for you. If you want slap, definitely not for you. The overall signature, though, is excellent. Like, I didn't really have any issues with it, so I'm not mad at these. These are pretty dang good as far as just overall sound quality. But yeah, so that's the Meze Elite. I don't want to take up too much time going over these or gushing over them, I guess. But yeah, I really dug these, and it was a very fun time to listen with these. So very cool. And if you get the chance, maybe go try to find like a local shop that might have these on hand to demo and check out and see if they fit what you're looking for as far as that audio signature or sound signature. Then give them a go, because they are definitely, one, fantastic to hold, and they're just fantastic. The build and the beauty of these is excellent. Oh, another con that I've always had, and this is a problem with most headphones, but I noticed with these ones, especially because of the nature of the headband, is you don't really want to hold them by one cup, because they tend to like flop all over the place. And so definitely you want to be more careful when you're holding them, and hold them with two hands, or hold them at like the top part here. Don't try to grab the cup, and because they'll just swing everywhere. So yeah, something to pay attention to. And that's most headphones, not just these, but just, be aware of it. Yeah, with that, I think I'll let everybody have their morning, afternoon, or evening back, because that's obviously what I say at all these videos at the end. So yeah, have a good one. Cheers.